gotta say, after being with my girlfriend for 8 years, right? I really don't know how people are doing it longer. I don't know how you're keeping it together. You must be yelling at each other every day. You must just look at each other like, can you change your face? Is it possible? Can you get bigger eyes or a smaller nose? This is the same potato-shaped head that I've been looking at for 20 years. You breathe like an idiot. You know that. Just hissing in the middle. Like, even after 8 years, it gets tedious. It's the same conversation sometimes. My girlfriend's like, Nathan, what do you want to do tonight? Another woman. Is it okay to say to you, you know? And as a comedian, going from town to town is your life. In and out of hotels sounds exciting, but with only working an hour a night, the other 23 can feel like a sentence. Even the hot tub gets boring. So what do? Anything. I'm Nathan Macintosh, and this is Stand Up Downtime.
Let's get up to get down. I want the lights on when we're gonna rock this town.
Hey, Nathan.
Oh, hey.
What you up to?
I'm just bored riding the elevator up and down.
Well, come with me. I'm getting a bubble tea.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
Cool. We finally get to hang, just you and me.
I'm really happy you're here, man. I'm just gonna go back to 6 and then back down to L. Let's do it.
Let's do this.
This is Aisha Brown. Originally from Scarborough, she recently taped a set for Kevin Hart's LOL Network.
I have a scary birthday coming up. This year I'm turning 38 years old, and it's like a black 38. It's like a Burlington 25. It's fine. It's not the same thing. It's not the same. I feel about Twitter the way my parents probably felt about, like, you know, video games, and their parents felt about freedom, you know? Just not used to it.
You're from Scarborough, right?
I am from Scarborough, yeah.
Did you, you've been to Burlington or no?
I've never been to Burlington. I didn't learn to drive until super late in life.
Okay.
So my getting to know the city has been through stand-up, and I haven't performed in Burlington yet.
Got that lady to do the truck driver horn thing. I was trying to see if she would actually, like, do the, she doesn't have the horn in her car, but she was like, you know what I mean? Real Migos, like she was listening to Bad and Bougie, she was killing it.
What a nice city, what a yes and city.
It is. I've talked to people on the street, and some people just kind of look at you. They're like, this is Burlington. This isn't your run-of-the-mill nice to people. We are in, excuse me. I think they might have a little bit of a, because same as you, I'd never really been here before either. Mm-hmm. So I think when you do come and you go, oh, I like it, people go, yeah, it took you long enough to get here.
Here we are, bubble tea.
All right, cool.
Hi.
Hello.
How are ya?
Welcome. Thank you.
I am craving a bubble tea. My name's Aisha. What's your name?
My name's Amanda.
Hi, Amanda.
Pleasure.
Nice to meet you.
Hey, Amanda. Nathan.
Nathan, pleasure. So bubble tea consists of the base, which is tea. You rather choose black or white, black or green, and then your flavors and tapioca, and that forms a bubble tea.
Okay, here's the thing, right? So tea, right? I'm like, okay, green tea, black tea, cool. Then you're like, all right, milk base, whatever. And then I go, what's this tapioca?
Tapioca is a starch that's extracted from a cassava root. And then they put like brown sugar and caramel.
But it's like a thing that goes in, it's like a little guy?
Yes, it's like a little chewy gummy bear. And it's,
see, I mean, you know, the first time you tried bubble tea, were you like, this is weird?
Yes.
Right? Because
But
that's
then
the part I'm
you
like,
gotta try it, because everything you gotta try once. And once, there's lots of people that actually came in and they never tried bubble tea yet, right?
Okay.
But once they tried it, they fell in love.
so you've done this before, you're cool.
I love the idea of like a drink and a snack. It's
Okay.
Yes.
like an efficient.
Never really had a drink with that's something
Yeah.
You know, like a
It's-
soup with like if I was drinking a soup, that feels like this is kind of what it's gonna be like.
Think of it as like gazpacho.
I don't know what that is.
Sorry,
It's like a
here we
cold
go.
soup.
Your drinks are ready. Enjoy.
Thank you.
you.
Amanda?
You're welcome.
Like I've never, you know what I mean? I've never had a drink with like a.
This is the most fun part. Like, if there's a person you've ever thought, like, I wouldn't mind stabbing them.
Okay, who do you picture when you go to stab this thing?
Usually a person who cut me off in traffic.
I'm gonna picture guidance counselor in high school.
See how that went right in? Like a murder? Oh, cheers.
Cheers to whatever's going on at the
Yeah.
bottom of this cup.
Yeah, this is fun. This was very cool.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, the straw's pretty big.
Yeah.
The straw being as big as it is kind of freaks me out.
You know what? I get it. Did you think of it as like your throat canal?
No, it's just like, it just feels like a lot, like just happened. I had like 4 little dudes.
Yeah.
They're good.
Are you a person who separates like your meat from your like veggies from your rice? Like you don't like commingling?
I am a person who hates shepherd's pie.
No. Okay. Okay, that is the.
Yeah.
I get it.
Have you ever, because I've done this a couple times when I've been on, like on stage, and you feel that everything's going together, but then you just like, some small little thing happens and you feel like you're not even a part of this situation anymore.
Oh yeah, I've got ADD, which
Okay.
like I've only started dealing with in adulthood. But if I'm not all present during a show, like just a phone ringing or kitchen noises or just like weird things will pull me out of the space I'm in.
Yeah.
And I can't. I'm like I just have to abandon whatever I was talking about because I don't remember.
Prince Harry is engaged to biracial Meghan Markle, and I hear people like, oh my God, if they have a baby, the baby could have like her bronzy skin and his years and years of inbreeding, you know? So it's weird. We've been talking about having kids, like, and I have that niece and nephew, and they're actually biracial, so half their lives matter to me. So I'm thinking, just Auntie loves you half.
But this, can I tell you, this is kind of growing on me?
I'm so glad it is.
It's like a pretty fun thing that every once in a while, a little weird, juicy little dude, like you said you have ADD, I think I do too, but then sometimes it makes me just like stuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know when you said there's like a phone ringing or something, and you're like, I don't even know what I was doing? I sometimes see a key card for a hotel, and I'm just like, where, you know what I mean? Where am I? What am I doing?
I had the worst thing happen to me the other day. I was on the phone with someone, and I got distracted like for maybe 2 minutes, but I'm really good at faking like I'm listening, like those like fake listening skills, like I know where to pause and make those noises.
Yeah.
And when I tuned back in, she was like, so that's why I'll be gone for 2 weeks. Bummer, huh? And I'm like, I can't ask her to repeat that. And I'm pretty sure it's either because of like a surgery or someone's dead, but I can't ask.
So, my father will be dead in 2 weeks. That is why I cannot come to your birthday party.
I'm like, yeah, terrible. So what are you gonna wear?
As a comedian, you're never supposed to blame the audience. Sometimes the audience, though, is a lot of salt-filled cheeseheads, you know?
Yeah.
So, what do you do if the crowd is bad? Like, how do you manage that?
There's sometimes audiences are like, can you wrap it up with your black lady experiences? Like we didn't pay to hear about privilege, right? So I feel like usually when the crowd isn't with me politically, I try to change it up and do either more relatable material and
I kind of start yelling at people. You
yeah,
know,
depends on the day, right?
It depends on the day. It depends on what it is. It depends on why these people are bad. If I can tell that somebody just worked, like clearly this person builds bridges with their face, and they have clearly just had an 8-hour face bridge building shift. I'm like, well, I'm not gonna lean into this person. But sometimes crowds are just like, hey man, I don't care about comedy. And you go, well, I don't know, you came here, you know?
Yeah.
So we're trying to put this together, but I need you. I'm not a magician. I need you.
I did an interview a while back where like the interviewer asked me, do you do comedy for women or do you do comedy for black people? Like, I had to choose one.
Why are those the options? Even?
Right. It was a weird question that assumed my politics, like, already going into it. And I thought, oh, that's really limiting.
Yeah, of course.
But then I did a show, and like an older white guy came up to me afterwards, and he's like, I really like the show. And I was like, thanks. And he goes, you didn't make me feel bad about being an old white man. And I was like, I'm not doing it for that either, though, right?
Look, I'm not here just for black people or women, but if white men leave my show happy, I swear to
Like,
God.
Get out of here.
I do love that man, though. He's my first white boyfriend, because I don't see color, just money and dick size. Right? I love him. He's very exotically white to me. He wanted to introduce me to his culture this summer, so he took me to the cottage, and that was cool. It was cool. There was a nice moment where we were on the water, and the wind was blowing, and every time the wind went by, you'd hear, "Get out." It was just his mom, though. It's cool.
And sometimes I have jokes that are not political that people read into politically. Like, good for you. Talking about mental illness as a black woman. And I'm like, nah, it's just a poem where I screech like a hawk.
Yeah.
That's it.
And the other side of that, the most white male comedians, the box that we'd be put into is like, you're just making dick jokes.
Yeah.
No matter what you're talking about. You're like, oh, my mom, man, she left me in a parking lot. And I'm like, here comes his dick. he's gonna take out his dick. And you go, no, it's not all this.
Yeah. But even, you know what's funny? I don't know who said it, somebody said it, that like there isn't a joke or a subject matter that hasn't been broached. It's just the way you approach it.
Yeah.
So if you have a dick joke, but it's a creative dick joke, I have a lot of respect for that. And just like, yeah, if there's two black women on a show, we are gonna talk about race, but we're not gonna necessarily have the same take on it, you know? I don't know. I just don't like being like pigeonholed. I don't think any comic likes being pigeonholed.
I'm starting to love it, you know? Once you get pigeonholed, that's where you make money.
Yeah,
Outside of being pigeonholed, it's a big waste of time. Anytime somebody comes up to you and they go, hey, are you a woman or are you speaking for black people? You say, whatever pays me. Well, what's it like being a woman on the road? I only know what it's like for me. Here's what it is sometimes. You go on the road, if I'm not with, say my girlfriend's not around or I'm just by myself, I do a show, then I go back to a hotel room, and then I'm riding the elevator up and down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People think you just get off stage and people are loving you and then you're just, it's super orgy. No, it's me and Netflix and I'm like, why am I doing this? So what's it, you know what I mean? What's it like on your side?
I used to feel this pressure because there's this thing of like, we're on the road together, let's all go to the bar, but I don't really drink that much at all because I'm usually driving. For the most part, it's mad chill for me.
Do you got, because sometimes women will come up and talk to
guys.
Yeah. And they're usually crazy drunk.
Yeah.
And they're like, you're a funny
They're the ones in the
ginger.
show. It's
And
like,
I'm
it's my birthday.
Yeah, God.
It's always that
They've
girl.
already got like a little bit of puke on them. And they're like, we're going to this bar called Johnny's. You should come. My mom is blah. And you go, I'm not going with you.
Yeah.
Do dudes ever come up to you and hit on you after shows?
The guys that come up to me after shows are always like, oh, like you're an underground serial killer. Like there's something wrong with you. I don't know what it is about guys who approach like female comics after show. It's never like, remember Pretty in Pink?
Yeah.
Where that way too hot 25-year-old man was trying to be with Molly Ringwald the entire movie, and you're like, why is he so into Molly Ringwald?
Yeah.
That is not the reality for female stand-up comedians. It's never that like underwear model. It's always the guy who like steals the underwear model catalogs. Like it's that dude. It's like a horror show. I do this like rap from time to time where I pretend to like be in love with guys with small penises, and more often than not I'll get a guy come up to me who'll be like, oh man, I'm so glad to hear you say that you like a small penis. I'm like, nah, it's a joke, it's ironic.
Just right in his face like that? Nah, dude.
Nah, I'm not into it. You've got a problem.
Nobody ever has been on stage and said anything positive ever. You've been waiting your whole life for one person to be like, you know, my favorite thing on this earth is a tiny wiener. And this guy's like, yes!
If there was a guy who went on stage and talked about how he's like, I love a woman with an ugly foot, I would be right there. I'd be like, oh man, if you love ugly feet,
Exactly.
do I have the blisters for you?
And then you walk up to that guy and you're like, man, my feet are disgusting. He's like, it was a joke. Ugly feet are gross.
Yeah, like, oh, now you're on my Instagram.
I'm happy I came with you because I probably just would have sat in that elevator riding up and down all day. I mean, we should probably head back and get ready for the show,
Yeah,
right?
sounds like a plan. Thanks for coming out with me.
No, thank you for having me. This is great. I'm happy I came out.
I used to get called up on stage by the wrong name all the time. They used to call me up by one of the other 3 black women doing comedy in Toronto. And I used to assume racism. You know, they're being racist. They can't even tell us apart. But I was wrong, right? Because here's a fact. 95% of comedians doing stand-up in Canada are white guys with beards. And I can't tell any of them apart from each other, right? If one of them came up on stage right now and shot my dad in front of me and then disappeared into a craft beer festival, I'd have no idea who it was.